Hey, welcome everyone to Health Coach TV. I'm Dr. Shaunna Menard, and I am so excited about our very special interview with Sabrina Queiroga. She is someone who is originally from Brazil, now living in Whistler, Canada, and she is an expert on stress. Anyone got stress? If you've got stress, you are definitely going to want to tune into this. So let me just give our guest a proper introduction. Hi, Sabrina. How are you?
I'm fine, Shaunna. Thank you so much. I'm really glad to be here today with you and everyone else who's also watching us live.
Awesome. So I am so excited. Let me give you a proper introduction. This woman, guys, is phenomenal. High finance stress, that's some big stress. And this woman has lived through that and also has some fantastic tips for you as to how you can overcome stress and really live a healthier, better life. So Sabrina graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. She is a certified holistic health coach. She's also certified in plant-based nutrition from eCornell Center. She has numerous certifications behind her, but she was also the chief operating officer of a financial broker-dealer company in Brazil, buying and selling stocks, high finance, high stress, make a mistake, cost millions of dollars. It's a big deal. And then she started training managers in communications and human relations. And not only was stress an impact in her life, but also in the lives of the people that she was responsible for at work and then at home. She has a family. She is married to her husband, and she has two beautiful kids living in Whistler, BC. And she is going to share some of those things. So she went from being this MBA in corporate finance, high stress, and then learning some tools that allowed her to live a healthier, easier life, including yoga and all sorts of great stuff. So she's going to share that with us. So welcome, Sabrina.
Oh, thank you so much, Shaunna. Yeah, today what I do is I help executives with chronic stress and adrenal fatigue so they can lose weight, recover their energy, get some clarity about their life so they can fully enjoy their career and their family. And
I'm going to just check something here. I'm going to check and see, can our Facebook people, if I just want to take a quick look and just a little tune in just to see with our Facebook guests, and then we'll continue. There we go. We got Rachel and Lynn and Deborah, so from North Carolina. So if you are joining us, before we get right into this, if you're joining us live, or even if you're catching the replay, let us know where in the world you're coming from. We have a global audience, so let us know where you're from. If this is the very first Health Coach TV, put a 1 in there. And if you've seen a bunch, put a bunch of hearts or pluses or something like that in the comments. And if you have questions for our guest as we go, I'll try and keep an eye there. Okay, sorry, Sabrina. So yes, tell us about, like, how did you get into this line of work, and like what you do? How did you get into this line of work?
Yeah, I worked like 15 years in international financial market. And the days were like, I used to work like 80 hours a week. The days were filled with stress and pressure. As you said before, any mistake could cost millions for the company, which is also like, wow. But what's the life that I aimed for? So since I was very young, I did economics, and I was like, oh, I want to be like a powerful executive woman. So I had this in mind. So it was a career that I aimed for myself, and I feel like really accomplished. But in the beginning, the early years when I was in my 20s, was easy. It was easy to work long hours. Was easy, and then I would work out. Workout was something that I used to do. I loved sports, so I did some sports or running, some workout. I could have a small social life, but I still had time. But over time, it changed, especially when I get older and I had kids and family. I started to have more. I said, I want more. I'm really happy with my career. I love what I do, but I want to spend time with my kids, and I want to spend time with my husband, and I want to do other stuff. And at this point, exercising was not enough, and I was starting to feel really tired. Especially after I had my second kid, I was exhausted all the time. So I started to stress out, and I was thinking, well, maybe the only way would be quitting my job, because it's not like I wasn't being able to handle both things on the way I would like. So that was like, wow, how, and for quite a long period, I said, maybe I just have to give up my career. And then sometimes I was thinking maybe I do another job, something that is easier. But it's kind of hard when you invested so much and it's something that you still love. And I said, it needs to be another way of doing this. So in the middle of this turmoil about I can't do this anymore, I took vacations. I had vacations. I was almost like asking to get out of my job. Like, actually, I quit my job, and my boss said no. So I have vacations. And when I start trying different things, because I already practiced yoga, which was helping me a lot. When I started practicing yoga, it was like a huge change. I said, wow. But later on, I just figured out, maybe I need something else. And when I started changing my nutrition, what I was eating, I started recovering my energy back. So I said, oh, there is something there that is not just the yoga, it's not just, and even it's not just the nutrition. Right. So, but it was like a tipping point for me, was this. Yeah. And I said, okay, let's do it. And so for a while, I started like managing my career again, being able to still be working like as crazy, but with energy, and still having energy to be with my family, to be with my husband. So I said, well, I need to learn more about it. I started like getting really curious about what could I do to have this two things that were really valuable for me, like my career and my family, and enjoying both.
Yeah. Well, and I can imagine, I think a lot of people can relate. You go after a career, and there you are, like, dropping everything, flying to New York, going back, like Brazil, New York, it's exciting. It's, if you're in your 20s, it's kind of, everything that you want, that powerful woman, as you say. And then as family starts to come, and then as the pressure starts to mount and you climb the ranks and there's more responsibility, can't even quit. They say, take a vacation instead. Don't quit. I know that feeling. Yeah, you kind of feel trapped. I remember having patients who in their well-meaning way say, you can never leave. And I'm like, it's like, don't ever leave us. And it's a stressful thing to feel like you're trapped. So then you twig into yoga and nutrition, and those have a powerful aspects. I know you have more of those, but those were two key aspects that were huge for you. So tell us a little bit more about like making this change and some of the things that you noticed and that kind of thing in your journey here.
Yeah. So once I said, and for me, what was really important is when I started like adding this, the nutrition and the yoga, and I started like having more clarity, because that's one point that I said it's key, having clarity to see what you want. And then I figured out like, oh yeah, I can manage this. But at the same time, I felt in love with coaching. As you mentioned before, I started like training my lower levels of managers. And I said, the results were awesome. And suddenly I said like, oh, I have something else that I love that is not just, and was how I started like transitioning for the coaching and teaching yoga. I'm also a yoga teacher. And I said, and for me, what is important is what I tell most of my clients is sometimes you should do a change in your life, change your career, but you should do, once you figure out how you can handle your career, once you're very clear about, oh, I achieved everything I want. So I was in a top level executive, I was in a top international broker. So everything that I was aimed, I got it. And I said, I was really happy. I said, well, now I will do a second round. So and I think is important, because what I tell my clients is not everybody needs to do what I did. And what I try to teach them is they can be where they are doing the work they're doing if it's the thing that they love, but they also can have time with their kids. They also can have a good personal life, and it's not just one other. And that's what I try to show them. It's not like, oh, you get better, you recover, then you change your career. No, some people will change. Some people will find out, yeah, you know, I have this dream that I want to go. Because for me, when I left my career, my financial career, it was like, you know, now I have a second dream. I have a different dream. I want to work with people. And not for coincidence, I decided to work with executives because I kind of know them. I know how they feel. I know the challenge they face. I know how sometimes everybody thinks you're perfect because you have everything. You're making money. You're beautiful, but it's no. We have a hidden cost. What I say for being there, and that's what I try to show them. You know, it can be better. It can be there, but it can eat much better than generally we eat, even if you're like fast fooding. Because I said, you know, fast fooding for executives could be juicing. I juice a lot when I'm busy. I juice a lot instead of like having burgers. So so you have a good way of transitioning. And I think that's important because even if one day they decide to have a different career, they have clarity. Because I think when you're too busy, too stressful, you lose the point. You lose the clarity to take your decisions business-wise, personal-wise. And I saw over the years so many relationships that people just broke up because, you know, they're too busy to try to work on. And even kids that like after 20, 30 years, they said, oh, I never saw my kid. I never been with them when they're young. And I said, you know, you can have a better way of doing this. And this is what I decided to say, wow, now I want to help executives and people to figure out that they just can have a better life, a better career. It's not just like go, go, go all the time.
Yeah. I think I want to echo, and I want to say hi to Debbie and Sally Ann and that are joining us here. It's great. They're loving this. So there's something that you said there that's really important that people will gloss over. I'm going to say it's like an internal change that happened first. So you had this massive like 180, you're like the poster child of what a lot of people would like. So you went from this high pressure, high stakes, high pressure job, glamorous, etc., but life in the fast lane in Brazil. And then 180, you're living in this beautiful ski town resort in Whistler, BC, Canada, homeschooling your kids, being a yoga instructor, like living this life. And from the outside observer, they're going to make an assumption. Oh, well, of course it's easy because look at what she's doing now. And that's not true. And because people do the same thing for me as well. They see this high pressure doctor and then now look what happened now. And so, oh, well, for sure, of course it's better. But the change happens internally first. And so that you don't have to change your career, but you get to want what you want. And at that point, you know, you'd hit all the ranks. You got to the top of the ladder and, you know, kind of all the juice, the flavor was, you know, out of that gum, you know, you chewed the flavor out of that gum. It's time now to do something else and saw a need. And it's like, oh, look at how my life has changed. And I really feel a passion and a calling now to go back and help those who are still in there, who still love that kind of thing. They might not want to be a yoga instructor and a health coach and, you know, have expertise in nutrition, but they might want to do their job better and they might not want to kill themselves doing it. And yeah, the number of, well, both from my profession, like doctors, and from yours, the number of divorces and heart attacks and cancers and things from the stress, like it's no joke. And so and yet we need people to do those jobs. Those are important jobs. And some people like to do those jobs, some don't, but some people like to do those jobs. So to find a way to help them and to empower them. So what I hear you saying, and I know you mean, is that you can still do the job you love and find a way not to kill yourself doing it.
It's finding the right resources, because the truth is already, like, they already find ways to go through, because you can see, like, in all high pressure careers, people, like, they drink more or they take meds for sleeping. So they are already like buffering a way to survive there. It's just like finding the right resources, because it's just the right way. Find the food that, and a lot of people don't think about that. When you talk about losing weight, people think about healthy foods, but when you think about the stress, they wouldn't think about, oh, I have foods that will support to lower my stress, and in the same way I have foods that will increase my stress. They don't
Yeah,
think,
good.
so
Yeah,
that's the thing, you have like, it's many resources, and it's really wide. And it's what I found out. It's not just running, it's not just the meditation, it's a combination. And the combination for each person might be different also. So
yes.
depending on how you use your body, or depending what you, some people really need to lose, I don't know, my husband, when he left financial market, he needed to lose, I don't know, 60 pounds. When I lose, I didn't have to work much on my body weight because I was already fine. I was already working on that. So different people will be a different focus on what they need. And is this, when people don't think, oh, when I lose weight, what does it have relate to stress? And it is related to stress. I work as like, the main point I address all the time is the stress, especially because in the financial market or in any career, I think in the modern world, people start thinking that stress is part of the life. It's part
Mhm.
of the business, it's part of the life, and you don't have other way. And it's not true. Stress is killing us. Stress
Yeah,
is, and it's worse. It's not killing us, but it's making our lives miserable. And what
yeah,
is the point if now we live to like our 90s, but like at least the first 2/3 of our lives are horrible? I said,
yeah,
there is no point. It's not about living 50 or 100. It's about how you're living. And I
yeah,
think most of the thing that people feel they are, as mentioned before, trapped. They said, I don't know where it can start from.
yeah,
Because if to start, they think they need to quit their jobs or quit their relations, whatever. It's just too much.
yeah,
It's just like, oh, not the point. You need to do this internal work. It's what you said. And I remember when I was really young, I had a friend that we worked together in the first investment bank that I worked. And she was always really stressed. She said, I hate this. It's too stressful. It's too much pressure. I said, wow. And we were like on our 20s. So she said, I will quit. And she decided to go in in a corporation. So she went to one of the big corporations, the water industry. And I said, oh, it's better, it's easier, it's not the high demand and time demanding financial market. But 2 years later, she said, it's too stressful.
yeah,
I can do this and I will quit and I will work in the public sector because, I want something easy. And I said,
right.
okay. And last time we talked, she was there, but she was stressed and she was saying how much she was working for everybody around her because people were not doing what we're supposed to be. So I said for her, it's not about the job. It's about how you are dealing with the job. It's
Yeah,
about you. And most of the time, it's always about us.
yeah,
It's not about anything around us. Of course, the environment you have an influence. Yes, it is. But when you change from inside out, you start like changing your environment instead of your environment influence you. So that's what you want. You want to
yeah,
be the person. And I noticed that when I was still in the financial market, because when I started decreasing my stress and communicating better, my managers start working better, and then they start working better with other managers. And that's why I started doing course, because I could influence directly my managers, but I said, I need to influence other managers. And because I was head of HR, I said, I will teach everybody, because then, and it's amazing how everything started working better. People
yeah,
start being happier, they are nicer to each other, they help each other. Because
yeah,
that's one thing, when you are in an environment that everybody's kind of like happy with what they're doing, they don't mind extending like, an arm just to help another one.
yeah,
So we were in an environment that the competition was high, but you have healthy competition and you have very unhealthy competition.
yeah,
So it's just like with like everything else. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And when I saw the result inside the company, I said, I love it. That's why now I want to expand. I want to work full time just helping other people, because I noticed when I change one person, I'm pretty sure
yeah,
this one person will start changing another one. And that's so rewarding, I think, in our career.
yeah. So much good stuff there. So, and I'm gonna check in with our people here in Facebook. I'll just refresh there if I can see. Yeah, feel free to ask questions here, but this is really good. So you said a few things I just want to echo and emphasize. And like your friend who she did change the job to be less stressful, and it wasn't less stressful. And like wherever you go, there you are, you bring yourself with you. Like when I was leaving the tertiary care hospital to go to the clinic, I was very aware that if it's frying pan fire, like if I don't change me, the same problems are just going to follow me, different faces, different places, but it's the same thing. But you've made an internal overhaul when you're getting a different experience. And as Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's exactly, this is what you're talking about, changing that. And as you said, these executives, when they're stressed, and a lot of people are stressed right now. When you're stressed, we all do things to cope. We're doing stuff anyways to cope, whether it's alcohol or cigarettes or over-exercising or TV or whatever it is, or junk food. We're all finding a way to self-soothe, and some of them are making it worse, and some things are making it better. And you're saying, there are foods you can eat that can make it better. There are foods and things that you can do that make it worse. And it's like sorting that out. And that's kind of that. So tell me, so that I'm assuming this is why you became a health coach. And so tell us, like, is that why? I'm assuming that. And then how do you work with clients? Like, what would you do with somebody that you have?
Yeah, no, that's the main reason I started like being a health coach. And what I do, I work really close to my clients because I really believe that each individual is different. Of course, I have, I don't know, 100 tools, and they all work. I tested all of them. I test with myself, I test with my clients. But for some people, certain tools will work better. That's why we are really close, and we try, like in the beginning, I was like, start with awareness, where you are, how you feel, what are you feeling now, what's your problem now. So I try to guide them, and I work virtually, so we do like one-on-ones or group calls like here. And today this is amazing. I think it's because, again, we are all so busy. And in the past, I remember when I first had my coach, it was like I had to fly to São Paulo, and then I had to drive to this office. It was like I would lose like 3 hours just in between things to have a 1 hour session. And
Right.
here's what I said: you can be even in your office. You can go to a room, some place that you have some calm time, that people will not be like asking you anything. But then you don't have to go out and drive and take. So I think this amazing that we have this technology now. And during the pandemic, I think everybody started even speeding up. I used like this technology already for a while, but I saw how everybody like quickly speed up, and now it's like normal.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, and I started like really working on the stress part, because it's so fast. You can decrease your stress so fast. And once you decrease, and it's not like that, oh, now you're a Zen person. I said, no, it's not about that. It's just like you start like getting clarity about everything, and then you start figuring out what is good for you. And we do this like really together, step by step. And it's really interesting because, not a few sessions, but in the middle of the process, people already start to know and to feel that they kind of know what works for them. Yeah. Another day I had a client calling me that she had been doing a lot of tapping, which is the emotional freedom therapy. And then she said, I was scared because you worked so well. I said, oh, interesting. It's scary. I said, it's not scary. It's just like, first you had the open mind. And I tell all my clients, first thing that you need to do a new process, you need to have your mindset open. You need to believe that it is working, and not like, no, I'm not sure, or I already tried this. And I said, that's one of the key elements to do a transformation. You can't start doing a transformation if you're not, because sometimes people say, oh, I'm willing to, but what does it mean that you really will, that you're willing to do something? For me, it's like, you don't need much. You just need to be open. Like if I tell you something, and you will say, oh, interesting, how I do this, how I improve. And I noticed this very quickly, because one of the first things that I say to people is drink water. And some people will say, oh, I already drink a lot of water. I said, oh, okay, interesting. But let's track for a week and just see and discuss later. And the person who is a open mindset said, oh, okay, great. How should I track? How much should I drink? And that's what, like, when a person is open.
Yeah.
And that's how we work, like step by step. I said, I don't want my clients to feel overwhelmed. They already are overwhelmed a lot.
That's right.
Going on in their lives.
Yes.
Okay, what I see, and even with people that sometimes they talk with me, they said, oh no, it's so much that I need to give up of eating. It's so much, I had to change so much that, I don't want to enter in this discussion. I said, okay. But you don't need, that's the truth. You don't need to change your whole diet. You change like a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you change a little bit on how you sleep, and you change a little bit here and there. Mm-hmm. And when you feel good, you say, oh, I want more. And that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's them wanting more because they can feel like, I have a great day at my work today. Everything worked well. And that's what happens. Things start working better because you create everything that organizes around yourself. It starts from you.
Yeah.
And again, you start, like, I remember when I started running in the company, soon I had other people asking, oh, can we run together? And then we were like a group of runners inside the company. And what it changed is sometimes we have dinners, late dinners with drinks and clients and whatever. We would drink, but like very little because we want to run on the following day. So we had something in mind. It was not about like, oh no, I'm not drinking because it doesn't make good for me. No, we had something that we want to do on the following day that would be fun, and we would run together and then arrive at the office, everybody kind of like high energy, happy. I said, that's the thing. And we were still traveling and working too late.
Yeah, it's kind of like that same philosophy of crowding out. Like you add so much good food and good vegetables and good water in that you don't miss anything else. And it's like filling yourself up with some activities that you do like, that you're not like missing out on some of those other things. And it's just like a gradual, what I'm hearing you say, baby steps, in that right direction, and just being easy and being open. You can't fill a full cup. So if people already know all the answers, there's no room for something new to come in there. So yeah, this is good. We're getting some great questions. Someone is asking, Sally Ann is asking, what's the ideal time frame that you coach clients? 6 months, a year? I'll let you field that question. What's like the time frame?
I start with 3 months because 6 months and a year, I think, is a great period, especially in 1 year, you face all kind of situations. So 1 year is something really good. But again, like the babe steps, I prefer to start with the 3 months, because in 3 months, you can learn all the tools and you can start like putting in place everything that you are learning and feeling how it works. So some clients after the 3 months, they would like to keep going in a different way, but they still having the support, and then we could work like for 1 year, because it will be a different type of work. Because you already have the foundation. But I think 3 months is really good for you to learn the foundation and to try to, okay, I'm doing this. So it's not too long. So people wouldn't say, oh, it's 6 months. I don't know what I will be doing 6 months. 3 months are like a shorter period. So it's easier for people to plan ahead. Okay, I can commit for 3 months. Because the initial commitment, I think, is really important.
Yeah, and they can focus for about 90 days is about all they can focus for, and they want relief fast. They want results fast. So that's great, and they're nice and motivated at that time frame. Good question. And hi, Sophia from Italy. Hi, Debbie from Arizona. I'm not maybe catching everybody's things there, but keep the comments and things coming here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. So tell us, like, maybe some of the biggest myths when it comes to changing lifestyle that people might have. I think you kind of addressed that maybe already. It's just that they have to change the outer world, and then maybe even just the most important thing that allows that transformation to happen. Like, what is the key to success. Like,
Yeah, I think the biggest myth is this: they think they would need to change everything to be healthier, or even they think it's like it's kind of hard to be healthy. You know, oh, I will need to eat foods that I don't like, or I will need to go to bed early that I don't like it, you know, because I'm a night person. And I understand, because I used to be a night person and I changed myself. I still say that I'm a night person because when I woke up in the morning, I'm not like the cheerful person. I take a while to wake up, but I love mornings, and it's, for me, is the best time of the day. Is where I work on all my creative work. You know, is a time that I just create for myself.
yeah,
So I think that's the myth. They said, oh no, and a lot of people, they judge themselves a lot. They say, you know, you need to be honest with yourself, and you need stop judging yourself. Because again, it's not your coach that should tell you like, oh, you should lose weight. Of course, it's something that is apparent. A lot of people say, oh, you need to feel, because if you don't feel you need to lose weight, why you need to lose weight? Because again, weight can be, when you are overweight, it is something that we use as a, how you say, a pattern for disease or things. But some people are overweight and they don't have anything. It's just like metabolic syndrome. The overweight, it is a symptom, but it doesn't mean. So you need to feel.
And likewise, people can be skinny and
unhealthy,
skinny obese, right? You know, that's just as inflamed, absolutely, too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a person needs to be like, really like, are you able? Are you willing to look to yourself and say, what I need? I think there's that. And sometimes people think that being healthy is something. Oh, I have a list. You know, we have a prepared list. To be healthy, you need to do this, 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 and that's not true. Yeah. That's the thing. That's not true, because what is healthy for me could not be healthy for you, and the same for my clients. So they need to be part of the process. Of course, I can guide them. I can say, you know, try to eat this, or I can guide them, and I can show them how good things will work. But at the end, they will be the ones really deciding, yeah, that works for me, or this food works for me. Broccoli could be good for some people, could be bad for others. So this part is really important. And I think in a world that we try so much to be fast, 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 we try always to receive things from authorities. Like if the doctor say, if a nutritionist say, and that's why I love being a health coach, because we have a different line of nutritionists. We don't do the same. I don't arrive to my clients and say, no, this is what you're going to eat. We sit together and we discuss, and he tries, and he will figure out, because there's a way that he won't be dieting. He will be just rebuilding the way he eats. Of course, if you eat like McDonald's every day, everybody, including you, know that is not best for you. But try to. And some process will be slower than other people, depending on how they are. Yeah. But again,
it's about helping them listen to their own body and let their body tell them what they should eat. You know, like some people are allergic to this. They should not eat that. Some people, and so it's like, what makes this vehicle feel good, and what makes this vehicle feel not? And that's where a health coach can really come in. It's invaluable to sort of evaluate those choices. We know sort of like the top things that are most likely to cause most people problems, but not all. And we can test it, and we can see objectively like what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And I was making an observation, like I have 4 sons that are, late teens, early 20s, and I'm like, this body cannot eat like a teenage boy. I don't know. I had this revelation this morning. I just can't eat what they eat and get the same results. This is a different vehicle. Maybe I could have before or after, but I can't. And I don't want to, because I don't want to feel that way. And so it's about getting in touch with that. I love that. So tell us a couple of tips maybe that you can share with our viewers. So if they're tuning in and they're like, okay, yep, this is resonating. They're loving this. They're like, this is great stuff here. There's hope is on the horizon. All hope is not lost. Maybe even though I feel trapped, maybe there are things that are under my control that I can do. What are some things that what are some tips that you have for them right off the hop here?
Yeah, the first one, what I said is this: awareness. Try to increase your awareness about yourself. Because naturally our days are so full. You're always out doing stuff. So try, you can write. I love writing journals, and I've been writing for many years, but it's changing. What I write today is totally different from what, but if you like writing, go down and write and try to be really like honest. Think about like nobody is going to read whatever you're writing.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
don't like writing, try to have some times and do the big questions, because that's one thing. Sometimes we avoid the big questions, like what do you want? What are you feeling? Why, why sometimes you're not feeling great? What is happening there? We need to go to these big questions that sometimes we think, no, we need to make money and go and keep going. No, we need to figure out what we like, because
Right.
what I notice is the modern life is really helping us to figure out what we don't like, but it's not really helping us to figure out what we like. And what we like should be our guidance. It's not saying, oh no, you're going to give up everything and no, but it's important. If you really like something, you need to explore that, because there is something there. There is something that will guide you to blossom some part of you that you have no idea. So it's starting with this, having a few minutes every day to think, or once in a while, start creating this awareness. When you think, like, I love like when they say, if you could do anything, what would you do? A lot of people doesn't know how to answer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And one of the most common things people would like say, oh, I would like to have a lot of money. You'll say, I got it. Maybe, especially when you're stressed at your work, you would say, I would like to have a lot of money so I don't want to work.
Yeah.
But it's deeper. So you can start there. A lot of people want to lose weight, and or they have like this stress belly, because when we're stressed, we always have this abdominal fat.
Sure.
I don't tell them, start with water. Drink water. A lot of time we think we are hungry and we are just thirsty, especially when we are stressed. We also have the element of the psychology of eating. And so drink water, drink 2-3 liters a day of water. Track your water for a few days. Track how much you drink, when you drink, just to see your pattern, because sometimes you drink a lot, maybe you have days that you don't drink any. So it's good to figure out this pattern. So
that's actually a good point there, Sabrina, because environmental cues, like I have all the time, I'll have my water, like, beside me when I'm at this desk. If I'm not at this desk, I can go a long time. If I'm out in the car or out in that, because I'm not normally out in the car anymore. I'm normally in this chair, but I don't remember to take a water bottle with me. And, so it's just like setting up that environment. That's a good point, is where you normally are, that helps, but just tracking it. Are there certain times of the day or certain days of the week that you're not getting it in there? And good point.
Yeah, it's sometimes I used to have a smaller water bottle in my purse when I work, because even if sometimes was empty, because it was always bother me inside my purse, I said, oh, I will fill it and I will drink it. It was a way just
lots of great tips. Good tips.
So in terms of nutrition, as you mentioned before, worried about crowding in. Try to bring something good for your day instead of because a lot of people said, yeah, you have to stop drinking. I said, well, what about start drinking a green juice? Instead of being worried about not drinking, and then at night when you want to relax, you say, no, I shouldn't drink, or I shouldn't do this. No, have a green juice during your day. Start like adding things. If you feel you need to have snacks, try to make your own healthy snacks that you have in your purse, or what kind of healthy snacks you like, because you need to start thinking about those things. Not just like I give you a list of snacks and then so you can say, oh, I hate baby carrots. Some people don't like it. I say, okay, so try to think what would be like easier for you, considering where you are, what are you doing, and have this. So crowding, worry about this, especially in the beginning. Don't worry about like cutting. Don't worry about like, oh, I shouldn't stop all my sugar. I should. Of course, it would be nice, but first add your green juice. Have a smoothie in the afternoon if you are hungry. Have water. So crowding, what you said before, crowding the good stuff before you crowd out the bad stuff. So you don't increase your stress. You just decrease. And you start like working on your energy, because you will feel more energy if you have like a nice green smoothie, a nice green juice, or if you have some nuts in the afternoon. You feel if in the afternoon you are too tired, Have some nuts. The fat will help your brain. And again, it depends. If you're a person that works too much, like on your head, probably will need a lot of fats or a lot of good fat to keep working. It will depend on what you're doing.
Yeah.
For me, that would be like the third step. And of course, you need to work on your stress. I think you need to have this awareness. Are you stressed? How much stress you are? That's why on my starter kit, I always have this test. It's good people, because people sometimes think they are not too stressed. Right. And when they test, they have so many symptoms and they are really, really stressed. True. So stress is not just starting out with everybody. Stress could be internal.
Yeah, and I'll let you continue there, but I think this is a key thing, because some people are like, well, no, I talked to somebody the other day and they weren't stressed, but they had all of these like stress related symptoms. I mean, they were stressed, but what they meant was they were stressed like everybody else.
Yeah.
So they're comparing themselves. Well, other people are just as stressed. Yeah, and as my parents taught me, just because everyone's doing it doesn't make it right. So that's the thing. Sometimes they'll think like everybody in this corporation is super stressed, and so it's normal, but it's not normal. And so I know that we'll talk about this quiz and things that you have but the stress, it's good to take note. Are you actually stressed? Some people, it's obvious they really know they are, and other times they are dismissing it until they get the big wake-up call that's coming down the road, if they don't heed the little warnings that are all along the way. Yeah.
And some people who, when they are stressed, they are really hard to deal with, but some people is not. They're still like looking fine and everything's just inside. They're just imploding.
Yes.
So that's why it's important. So I like to suggest people to start working with their breath. So you can breathe, you can do brief exercises, you can do 1 minute, 2 minutes, anytime. And what I think is really interesting when you start like getting awareness and learning to work with your breathing, you can do this over the day. When you get like spike of stress, you can just like do a deep inhale, pay attention how your breath start being shallow when you start being stressed. And even if you're in a meeting, you can just pay attention and try to control your breathing. And then if you're at home, you can do just like 1 minute, inhale 4 times, exhale 4 times, and just doing this simple exercise. And it could be 4 times, 8 times, depending on how good are your lungs. But this simple thing will change everything. And that's what I say. A lot of people go to yoga. Yoga is really good to manage stress. But the key thing in yoga is the breath, is how you're breathing. And all the techniques, if you're just like doing the asanas and the pose, you will feel like more relaxed because you're exercising your body, but you miss like 6% of the effects because you're not doing the proper breath. So every asana has a specific breathing that you should do when you're practicing. So, and it's easy. If you are able to do the 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes before going to bed, probably then you can start adding meditation and other tools. But if you think like, oh, meditation is too hard, I can't stop, don't worry about it. Just breathe. Breathe 5 minutes, breathe 2 minutes, whatever you can, because you're paying attention, you're creating focus, so it's easier. So start with easy things. And if you do this every day, you notice how different you start your day, how different you have your night if you do this before going to bed. So these are the basic tools, and I love because people thought it's so simple. I said yes, and so do it. If it's so simple, if it's so easy, it's so not a lot of time, try to do it, and then you feel better, and then you say, oh, I want to do more. That's the tricky thing. You need to feel better, so you want more of this.
Yeah. It calls you forward to that. Excellent. Super. Okay, so what are some of the spin-off benefits that you've seen? And then we'll just wrap it up with, I'd love to hear what people's favorite tip there was of some of those simple things, the breathing and taking that couple of moments in the morning and crowding out with the nutrition and the water, and, you know, journaling, some really great things, just some simple things that are actually very powerful. And then remembering the breath in the yoga poses. I didn't realize until you had shared that with me that like 60% of the benefit there is from the breath work actually that goes along with that. So yeah, you don't want to miss out that benefit. If you're doing it anyways, you might as well make sure we've focused on that in the future. So spin-off benefits that, you know, you've seen with clients like that as they go through this, what they're noticing, and then we'll just wrap it up of how people can, I know that you have something for them that is free, guys. So hang in here with us, we're almost done. So spin-off benefits, let's start there.
Yeah, I think most of the clients, when they come, they are very specific on, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to work better. You know, I'm having issues. A lot of people come because they are having issues on the daily life at work. But once they start doing the work, they figure out the benefits are way wider. And even things, because sometimes if you're exhausted, playing with your kids could be like a chore, could be like, oh, this is so hard. And when you start feeling well and it's what they are getting, they start really to feel energized, they feel like they can do more. Then even doing chores, and even when they have a meeting that is not their favorite, or some people that is not easy to deal with, they figure out that it's not that hard, and it's like increasing. And after a while they figure out, oh, they can have a hobby, they can do something else, they can in the beginning what they were just making, or like, I need to hold together my family and my work and try to at least 2 items to work, they figure out they can expand and do much more because they have the energy for that, because they have the clarity to say, I'm doing this, I'm not doing that. Because that's the thing, you need to figure out, we all have the same amount of time, so we need to figure out what is important for us. Clarity, energy, those things change, because we don't think this, when we are stressed, all our like decision process is compromised. So when you need more like to take the best decisions, everything starts being wrong because you're not in the right mind. And people figure out like, wow, it changed, things looks to be easier now. And it's not the things are easier, it's just you are feeling better, you can have more clarity on any decision that you're taking, you can figure out that, you know, you thought you didn't have time to exercise, or now you have time for, I don't know, dancing class, something that you love to do. And you do, we all have, it's just like, okay, what are you not doing? I'm not like spending 3 hours in social media, or I'm not spending 3 hours on Netflix, because it's easy to do those things.
It's back to that, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, your environment change. When you change yourself, that your environment and those other great things change as well. All right, well, this has been a fantastic interview. People are loving the water. That one's simple, it's easy to do, it's something they can do right away. Super great. And so how can people connect with you? And I know you have something special, I believe, for them. So how can they get in touch with you, Sabrina? What's the best
way? They can go to my website, sabrinahealthcoach.com. And there, if they want, I have like a starter kit, a stress buster starter kit, because I think it's this, everybody wants to have a taste. So in the starter kit, what you get first is like, test your stress. How stressed are you? Like some people think they are not too much, or even sometimes people think they are in a high level and they are in a medium level. It can be the other way too. So you can, and once you do your tasks, if you want, you can book a free consultation to discuss your tasks. So you can start have an idea on what those tasks mean on every question, and you can have questions and we can talk a little bit. So you feel free to do this. Also in the kit, we have like, why stress is so bad. So I explain a little bit about stress for you, so you have an idea what is happening in your body when you're stressed, so you can understand, and instead of just like hearing random things. I'm also adding like tips. I have 8 tips for you, so things that would be nice to have in your life. And I'm my last edition for like a 3 days guide. So what you can do in 3 days to really lower your stress and feel better. So it's something that you can have. So what I do there, I just put like items that you can do, like morning, mid of the day, and end of the day, and how you do it. And again, everything is very simple. And the idea is, if you do these things in 3 days, you notice the difference. So it's something that you can have a taste of, wow, what is it? Because one of the things that I always think, some people don't have an idea that is something better outside, that it can be better, that it can, your days can be great. And that's one thing that I realized of being a coach and changing everything and learning. We should feel great every day. It's not like, oh, once in a while we have a great moment. No, we should be great every time. That is our guide. If you're doing something that doesn't feel great, you should question.
Awesome.
And it's not like, oh, I have some work that I hate to. No, it's not. Sometimes you have works that you have to do, they are not your favorite. But if you're great, you say, well, I know why I'm doing that. So it's okay. I will do this, and then I will pass for the next test. So I think that's important. It's like this idea of what is like, oh, I feel energized. Oh, I feel I can do so much more, instead of like getting out of the day and feeling like, oh, I'm dying. That's not supposed. Of course, we are more tired at the end of the day, but we are not to be supposed to be dying at the end of the day or dying on Friday. Some people get Friday and said, I'm so tired by Friday. I said, you know, that's not normal.
Right.
A lot of people, I used to be always really tired on Fridays. So I would take like Sunday and Saturday and Sunday to recover. But it was not supposed to be like that. We should supposed to be like fine every day. You recover during your night and then you woke up and everything is great.
That's fantastic. Well, I just want to thank you, Sabrina, on behalf of all of our viewers and on behalf of me for this excellent interview. Just really excellent. Some really great tips there, and such a generous offer. So if you're wanting to get that Stress Buster Guide starter kit for executives, but it's really for anybody, whoever, it works for everybody. But even if you have that high pressure stress there from whatever reason, and time challenged, you'll definitely want to reach out to Sabrina, and you can get her guide at sabrinahealthcoach.com. That's SABRINA healthcoach.com. Check it out. And with that, I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of you for joining us for this recording. It'll be on my timeline, but also you can see all the previous episodes at healthcoach-tv.com. All right, with that, have a fantastic day, guys, and most of all, be good for you.
Thank you.